Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. So today we get to take a look at the Ford F150 Shelby. Huge shout out to 704 Exotics for providing this high horsepower F150 for me today. They're always getting in some very cool inventory. That link is down in the description. This Shelby is finished off in antimatter blue metallic. MSRP started right around $115,000. Now underneath the hood, this is powered by the 5-liter supercharged V8 that is paired to the 10-speed automatic transmission. It pumps out 775 horsepower, 600 pound-feet of torque. That power is primarily sent to the rear wheels. However, this has the 4-wheel drive system as well as having the automatic 4-wheel drive to get all of that power to the ground, sending this 5,600-pound pickup truck from 0 to 60 in 3.5 seconds. It has a top speed of 142 miles an hour. It also has a fuel tank of 18 gallons. You'll expect to see around 16 miles per gallon in the city, 23 out on the highway. This also has a wheelbase of 145.4 inches. Its overall length is 231.7. It has a width of 95.7, a height of 77.2, and its ground clearance measures in at 9.4 inches. Now, as we work our way to the exterior styling, you'll notice there's a few subtle differences compared to your traditional F-150. First up, Shelby is written across the front of the grille, finished off in gloss black. There's also a hidden forward-facing camera. Plenty of cutouts in that grille to provide a lot of cooling to that engine, including the functional hood inlets on both sides. You'll notice these are massive bulges that are functional, and there's the heat extraction portion on the back section too. So you can get a lot of cooling to that supercharged engine. There's also the matte black vinyl graphics that run down both sides there. This is also equipped with LEDs up front for the headlights, DRLs, and turn signals. Fog lights are in the lower section there. And then the stripes work their way to the bottom of the bumper where there's a tow hook on both sides. Gives it a really nice front end look to it. This F-150 also has a lift kit. You can get some of the Shelbys that are lowered, but this one has the BDS lift kit along with the Fox suspension. And you can see all those components in there. And then a really nice set of wheels and tires along with the Shelby disc brakes, both in the front and the rear. There's the F-150 badge just behind that says Shelby and off-road. This also has the body colored side mirrors with the camera and the turn signal. There's a full moonroof up top, and then this also has a combination of rock sliders and the power side step. So they are finished off in steel. When you open the door though, you get that side step that deploys. So really nice to see that combination there. And then we have the short bed for this truck. And then Shelby is also on the side here, and there's a very subtle 775 horsepower right in that matte black stripe that runs down the side. Really nice and subtle to see. Now in back, there's F-150 stamped in the tailgate along with Shelby in the lower section. This has a backup camera, LED taillights. There's the body colored bumper with the parking sensors, and then the Borla dual exhaust, which we will take a listen to very shortly. Now for this Shelby as well, you'll notice that the stripes continue their way back on this hardcover, where all you have to do is lift this up, and this has the carpeted liner for the entire interior there. You can also still open up the tailgate like normal, but very interesting to see the carpet. There's the power outlet there, as well as some tie downs if you need it. And this still retains the step. So you can pull out the step as well as this handle here and lock that into place to make it much easier to enter and exit. So with this model here, you're probably not putting in some dirty items with the carpet, but it is nice to see. You can use this for dry storage space as needed, and then you can quickly close this up. You can also close and lock that too, which is nice. Now this also has a remote start, so let's lock it, double tap this, and we can bring it to life. You can also double tap this to shut it off, and you can double tap this button for the tailgate as well, so you can release it that way. Now as we work our way to the interior, the door panel has a really nice design to it. There's the Bang & Olufsen sound system, a little bit of storage in that lower section as well as right in the middle. And then take a look at these seats with the red stitching, all of the black leather as well. You can also raise the bottoms of these seats. You can do this on both sides, so if you need that much more interior space, look at that nice flat surface where you can place some items. And again, you can do it on that seat as well. You have a little bit of storage underneath the seat too, and then you can release it and quickly close this. Now there's also a grab handle in all four corners, which makes it very easy to enter and exit. We have some storage pockets. There's carbon fiber with the cup holders and a little bit of storage there. You get heated rear seats, air vents, and auxiliaries. And at my height, 5'10", I have about a ½ inch or so of headroom. It's pretty spacious though for full-size adults to fit in the back here. And then right in the middle, we have the armrest with 2 cup holders. There's the power sliding glass there, and then a lot of visibility. So it's very easy to see all around. For a full-size truck, this is what you would expect. This also has the keypad on the outside. You can also use the door handle there to lock it if needed. And then up front, we have more of that same material along with the memory seating adjustments. Side mirrors are power folding. There's your window controls, release handle, and then a lot more storage space there. And then we have the same design for the seats, except Shelby is up in the top section there. And they are automatic, so all those adjustments are down on the side. Now, as we work our way to the interior, this has the leather steering wheel. There's also some carbon fiber accents on both sides. On this left side, there's volume along with Bluetooth controls. You have your distance pacing with your lane keeping assist. On the right side, there's tuning, some more Bluetooth controls, and then we have the menu adjustments for the digital gauge cluster. Before we get to that, let's fire this up and take a listen to how this sounds. And coming back to the gauge cluster now, if I push on menu, we can get into my view where this is configurable. So you can place all of this information here, just depending on what you would like to see. And then you can go into trip and fuel. You have some truck information, so you can go in and monitor all of this information. You can also look at your towing, pull up your navigation and phone. There's audio and settings. So you have a good bit of info that you can go through, just depending on how you need to set this up. And then the rest of the screen is digital, so everything else is fixed. Your RPM, your miles per hour, all the info in the upper section there is all fixed. It looks very nice. And you'll notice more of the carbon fiber that surrounds the gauge cluster. Now on this left side, there's spotlights on the side view mirrors. You can also open up the tailgate. There's all the headlight and fog light adjustments. E-brake, a pedal adjustment, so you can move the pedals forwards and backwards, which is nice. And then there's more of the Bang & Olufsen with a little bit of storage up top, carbon fiber surrounding the infotainment system. And then at the upper section, there's the engine start stop. You do get a shortcut to the camera system as well, so you can pull up the top-down view as well as the different angles here. You have traction control as well as the hazards up top. And then going through the rest of this screen now, in the lower section, this is all fixed. So you can get into your audio. There's also your phone. You can pull up the navigation, view that in full screen. There's some favorites that you can add, as well as getting into some apps like Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. You have different settings that you can get into to configure this as needed, and a few features like zone lighting and towing there. You'll notice too that there's the split screen, so you can go through some info on that right side there and still maintain info on the left. This also has the Pro Trailer system, so you can use that to help back up if needed, along with the trailer braking system. We have the four-wheel drive selector along with the locking rear diff and a few different driving modes. So twist on that rotary dial. You can go from normal to tow and haul. There's also eco and sport. And if we go the other way, we have deep snow, which will also change the four-wheel drive system. There's mud and ruts, slippery, and then we are back to the on-road settings there. Now, right in the middle, you have all of your climate adjustments in the lower section. With your fan speed, you have heated and ventilated seats, heated steering wheel, temperature adjustments, the rest of those controls there. You have power and volume and tuning. You also have a few different settings for that infotainment system, depending on what you'd like to see. There's some auxiliaries on the passenger side, along with a control for the upper glove box. You can also open up the lower glove box, where you have plenty of space. There's a lot of storage in the lower section with some auxiliaries. You can also hide that away. There's 2 cup holders, a little bit of storage. If we put this into reverse, you'll see the backup camera up here. Just like the forward angle, we have a few different ones to go through as needed. You can also go into drive and then push on M for the manual setting, so you can shift using plus and minus. If I put it into park, you can push on this control to make that nice and flat. Now, unlike the newer models for the F-150, this center armrest doesn't flip up and give you that nice flat surface. But you can place some items here with that out of the way, which is nice. On the newer models, you can flip up the center armrest and have that flat surface. Now, we also have Carroll Shelby with that badge right there. A little bit of storage, actually a lot of storage in that armrest there. And then up top, there's the rear view mirror. You also have your dome lights, sunroof adjustments, a sunglass holder too. And then here's a look at visibility. Pickup trucks really don't have that many blind spots, so it's easy to see over that right side. And then as we work our way to the left shoulder here, you can see plenty of visibility out of that side as well. So as we set up behind the wheel now for the Ford F-150 Shelby, this is the first time that I've ever driven one. I've been in the Raptors before. I've been in the Raptor R, which has roughly the same horsepower, but we have a completely different vehicle with the Shelby. With the Shelby, you can actually get them lowered unless people do that afterwards, but I have seen them from the factory lowered, or you can get them lifted like the one that we're in right now. The Raptor is a completely different vehicle with similar horsepower. That has the four-wheel drive system full-time and the off-roading suspension versus just having the lift kit for the Shelby here. But so far, this is a really nice truck. We do have some inclement weather today, so let's put the driving mode into the slippery there, so that way we can get some of the four-wheel drive settings to help us out here. And we'll give it a small acceleration. Here we go. That supercharger whine sounds very, very good. You don't really get that now in the newest Ford F-150s because now they have the EcoBoost engines. You can get some with the 5-liter, but we have that supercharged 5-liter V8, which I know a lot of truck enthusiasts like. A lot of Raptor fans were a big fan of the V8 in the Raptor before it went to the EcoBoost engine, which is the twin-turbo V6, and you just don't get the same sound that you get in this. But aside from the engine, everything else is nearly identical to the newer models. We do have some differences. The Shelby gets all this carbon fiber and some of those slight cosmetic changes that you don't see in a normal F-150, but in general, everything is about the same. That sounds so good. I really hear the supercharger whine in a lot of the Camaros and Challengers that I drive, so to hear it in an F-150 is a whole different experience. It obviously sounds very similar. Supercharger is going to sound similar across the board, but in a truck like this, it's really neat to see. This is basically just going to give you that horsepower that you're looking for, not necessarily the off-roading characteristics like in the Raptor. But if you want a great daily, you want something that has a lot of power, this is a great option to go with. I believe from what I read too, early model Shelbys, they were only making about 500 a year or so. So this isn't a mass-produced trim level, unlike the F-150 in general. So Shelbys are kind of hard to come by. This is the first one that I've seen in quite a while, but it's a nice truck. It drives very nice for this BDS lift with the Fox suspension as well, or the Fox shocks. So I don't have any complaints with it. This is how you buy it from the factory. So we have a very nice, smooth driving vehicle for the lift, the bigger tires. There's no road noise or anything with these tires. And we'll put into the manual mode now from second gear. Here we go. The button on the side of the shifter seems to be pretty responsive, so it's nice that you can use that as needed. The Raptors now, or the Raptor R, has paddle shifters on the back. So a little bit different than here, but if you need to use it, it is there, mainly for towing, or if you want to get up to the speed and just have some fun using that, you can. But this is what it's like to be behind the wheel for the Shelby F-150. Looks nearly identical to a lot of the F-150 models, of course, so there's not a huge difference, but it's very nice to at least experience and see what it has to offer for this limited production. And then we have that very distinctive supercharger whine. So let's talk about this Shelby F150. This is something that you can still buy today for the 24-year model. So it is still something that is available if you are looking for something that's a little bit different, a little bit more on the rare side. These look like they're holding their value pretty well just because it's such a limited production vehicle. And so you can get something that is going to give you that Ford performance, but also give you something that is practical like a pickup truck. So if you're looking for a truck and you want that performance, maybe you don't want the Raptor, which is better for off-roading, or you're not a Dodge person or a Ram person for the TRX. Those are kind of the two high performance full-size pickup trucks in today's market. So you have some that are a little bit more under the radar, like this Shelby. It's definitely a cool truck to check out and experience. But that's going to wrap it up for the F-150 Shelby. Once again, huge shout out to 704 Exotics for providing this truck for me today. Take a look at their website, give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and consider smashing that subscribe button so you don't miss out on our daily uploads. I will see you all in the next video.